All right. Have you guys ever been in debt and unsure what to do? You've been trying multiple things and you really can't seem to get any traction? Well, I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine who we've never really met in person, but we've been in the online space together for over almost 5 years, right, Megan?
You bet.
All right. And we've been on that struggle bus. So I'm going to let Megan tell you a little bit about her journey with the online space and why she's joined me in this digital marketing journey and a little bit about her success. Okay, Megan, introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Megan. I am from Manitoba, Canada. I am a mom to three, a healthcare worker, and we have a ranch here, so we're busy. And if I turned my computer around, you would see the ranchiness of my life, but I won't do that. Anyways, I have a windmill in the background. So, guys, I started this journey 5 years ago because, yes, we were in debt. And in today's day and age, guys, our 9 to 5s just aren't cutting it. And before our paychecks would, help us to pay down debt. We would have enough, but with the economy now, it's just a struggle for everybody. So 5 years ago, I joined a business, which I thought was going to be the answer, right, Wendy? We both did. And we were super stoked about it. And guys, when I start something, I give it my all. I am no quitter. And I did that for 4.5 years in that business. It was expensive, and I did it for 4.5 years. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. Ended up spending a lot more money than I wanted to. And, I was depressed, not going to lie. I was depressed, I was broke, and I was broken. And that's what I tell people all the time. So when people ask me, how did you even begin to start something else when you were so low? You guys, you got to pick yourselves up. And that's what I had to do. But it took time. So, a supportive spouse is always a great, thing to have in your life. And he was super supportive of me trying something different. So when I noticed Wendy was doing this business, I reached out to her and asked her about it, of course. And she told me about it. And I actually sat on it for a while because I was like, do I want to start something else again? Do I want to go down this road again? Because deep down in my heart, I honestly felt it's not going to work. You have to really have that mindset to know that you're worthy and that you can do this. Because, guys, there's nothing completely special about me. I'm just an everyday gal that you'd see on the street and think probably wouldn't even notice me. You know what I mean? It's you don't have to be that fancy person to come online and earn a good income.
I just love that because we share so much in common. And like I said, we've never met in person, but I call you my BB, my business buddy, because through all the ups and the struggles of the other businesses that we've been doing, because we desperately both wanted a change. And I think that's the driving force, right? Like that's what gives us a little bit of encouragement to take that step is the step that this might just be it. And I know for me, I really felt God brought me to this business because it was just time. It was my time. And I know you share the same faith as me. And I just love how you just give God the glory too for bringing you to this business. If I was the funnel he used to bring you in, then then so be it, right? Because that's how he works. So tell me a little bit about your God story and all this.
I feel God puts people in your lives for a reason, completely. And when He opens those doors, guys, is when the blessings start to flow. And you know what? Even if you're not a believer in God, you have to believe that there's something out there. People have skills, people have talents that they're too afraid to show. You have your hidden talents. And there's so many people out there that are just scared to go and show those. And if you guys could bring those out into an online business, you guys would see such great success. And that's what I tell people. You have to find your God-given talent because he's given us all gifts. Not two people, two people are alike. So you have to find your gift and you have to learn to use them. And it's the fear. Fear, you got to get past it. And for me, the fear of being in debt my whole life was way greater than the fear of me doing something like this.
I want you to share your husband's reaction because I know, like, for me, I didn't even tell my husband I jumped in this business because I've tried multiple things like you, and I just thought I just want to try it and then show him that I'm getting results, right? So because he was had that skeptical mindset. Now, I love your story about what you did with your husband, like how you told him not to even ask you
Yeah.
about so share that because it's
Okay.
amazing.
Okay, so Kurt had told me to quit that other business Probably I'm going on 2 years before I actually did it. And I should have listened to him, but I didn't. So when I finally threw in the towel with that, I was, like I said, depressed. And I told him about the one that, Wendy and I were discussing. And he said, Megan, you were throwing money for ads at that other business. What's another 900 US dollars? I don't know, whatever people want to start with. That's what I started with. But he said, go for it. I said, okay. I said, I will try this business, but on one condition, because I was tired of disappointing my family. I was tired of disappointing myself with that other business because I tried and tried and tried. And you know what, guys, you got to find what works for you. And I tried and tried. And I said to Kurt, if I am going to do this, can you please respect me and not asking me all the time, how's the business going? How much are you earning? Just please, I'll let you know when things are good. So 3 months passed. I started March 12th, guys. 3 months passed. So we're talking probably like May 15th, 16th. We were laying in bed one night. And by this time, I had paid off all of our credit cards, our line of credit. And he had bought a few months prior a new to us truck, not a brand new truck, but he had bought that. We put that on our credit line, his credit line, the farm. Anyway, so we're lying in bed one night and he's on his phone and I was, on my phone. And I looked over and I said to him, Kurt, do you want to know how much money that I've earned in the past 3 months? And he looks at me and he says, well, if you want to tell me. So I said, well, I've earned enough that I paid off all of our credit cards. Our credit line is gone. And I looked at him, I said, and I paid off your truck. And he looked I should have had a hidden camera because it was like the best moment. I should have. I regret that. Because if you know Kurt, he just looks away from his phone and he looks at me like that and he says, yeah, right. I said, no, it's true. I had to at 11:30 at night pull up everything on my phone and I had to show him. And he could not. He was, the other day he told me, I think you might be making too much money. He said, what are we going to do? I said, come on, don't ever say that again. Because it's scary when you get into a different place where you've never been. It really is. It's scary in a good way, but it's scary in a different way. But when I told him that, he was flabbergasted. So he still doesn't ask me what I'm earning. I'll tell him, I'll throw out some numbers sometimes, and he just looks at me and he just shakes his head like I still don't honestly think he believes me.
Wow. I'm so, it just makes my heart happy, right? Because it's radically changed my life. It's radically changing your life. And we see it every day in the community, how life-changing a business can be when you actually tap into the right income streams, right? When you actually tap into the right business. So why did you choose, what made this different than anything you tried before?
It had to have a couple of boxes checked, and I talk about this a lot on my lives, on my videos. The boxes it had to check for me was there was no monthly reoccurring fee. That was huge for me because I was throwing a pile of money before away at paid ads, and I thought, no, that was huge. Another thing was it's a one-time investment. That's another huge thing. And it's an investment that people can afford. That's the thing. There's 4 options. Everybody can afford it. I had a mom one day come to me that started 3 months ago. She wanted to start with the $100 program. She couldn't afford that. She went and sold, not kidding you, 2 kids' bikes and an air fryer to start with the $100 program. There is a way for everybody to start. So when people come on here and say, I can't afford to start, I couldn't afford to start either. It went cha-ching back on my credit card.
It's just that scary step, right? And you and I know from being in the first business we were in, it was a huge investment. We're talking like over
We're
five,
talking a huge
yeah,
investment.
like huge investment. And
Like you'd poop your pants if we told you huge.
exactly. And for me, and I'm sure, and I know for you too, is our first experience in the online space. We didn't honestly know any better. So we believed that doing that was going to get us the results that we wanted. And when I saw this business, just like you, I was like, wow, this is so much more affordable, so much more supportive, so much like you said, no monthly cost. That was huge for me as well. When you make that initial investment, if it is debt, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
monthly debt is something totally else. If learning how to get the skill set as a complete beginner, you and I weren't complete beginners. But
No.
it's so amazing when I see complete beginners tapping into this online business and getting results just as easily as us experienced, business people.
Yep.
Blows my mind. What's something in the community that you really appreciate, something that you see that you really feel you benefit from?
I just think the community in itself is a huge benefit to anybody new starting, a complete beginner into digital marketing. You go into that space and you just feel welcomed. You feel warm. You see other people with the same questions that you've had. So you don't feel like, oh, what am I doing wrong? It's our community is like its own Google search platform. Really, it is. You can go in there and you type in what your problem is or what you're struggling with, and I can guarantee you that there's people in there that have had the same struggle, little tweak that needs to be done. People will put in their answer and boom, you're on your way. There's not too many businesses out there that have that support, that have that constant update, the videos, the training. And you guys, there's no cost for that. It's just daily updated. And that's huge for anybody who's a beginner, even us seasoned vets, if you want to call us that. Sometimes you go in there if you're having a brain fart and you're like, oh, but then you go in there and I'm like, oh yeah, right.
I love that. For me, I'm not techie. So I love the fact that there's all that tech support in there because, and there's not a lot of tech with this business, but let's face it, anything digital, there's a little bit of tech setting things up. But the fact that there's live tech support,
Yep.
it's it's a game changer, right? It's a total game changer that you get the help you need with whatever it is that you need to get to help you on your success journey. When I saw this, then when I see something that's so good, I just can't help but share it.
Yeah,
Because
for
if it can
sure.
work for me, it can work for you, it can work for other people too, right? There's, like you said, nothing special about us,
Yeah.
but then God made us. But
We're
other
all special in his eyes,
all
but
special in his eyes, yep. What's one thing you want to leave us with? What you would say to other people that's really on the fence about jumping in?
so, like I said earlier, the biggest thing that I can tell people and to encourage people is to have faith in yourself because that's where it all starts. If you are that person who is so down, so depressed about whether it's finances or the future, or like Wendy was short for retirement, or myself living in debt, knowing we were never going to get out without help, if you are that person, just know that everyday people are changing their lives because they took one step and believed in themselves. And I know, like we talked about, it's scary to jump in with an investment in anything. And often people think like it's not legit. But you guys, if a person is willing to have a conversation with you, and that's with Wendy and I, we will converse back and forth with you. Like I said earlier, guys, you got to have faith in yourselves and you got to take that risk if you want change because, like the cliche saying goes, if nothing changes, then nothing changes, right? I don't like that because it annoys me because I hear it so much, but it's so true. People say it all the time. It is so true. If
Yeah.
you don't change anything this time next year, you're going to be in the same spot, if not worse.
Yep. And we're coming into 2025. And I always say, I just look back and I go, I just wonder what my life would have been like if I didn't take this step. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want your 2025 to look like? If you take a step today, just imagine what that could be for you and your family. You could be on this, I could be interviewing you next year and getting your amazing story because you decided to step out of your comfort zone and try either again or something new. Because, like Megan said, if you don't change, nothing changes, right? Congrats, Megan. I know you're close to the six figures, so
I
I'm very
am, I am,
excited
I
for
am.
you. That's how life-changing this business is, friends. Thanks for watching, and of course, reach out if you have any questions. Thanks, Megan. I appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, everybody.